What? Yeah. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Wednesday. Hump day shit. Yeah. Make peace with it. What's up, y'all? So y'all know it's hump day. Listen, I'm trying to get my ring off. I'm trying to get my because I'll be messing up my fingers. I don't need no injuries. It's been a long day. I don't need no injuries. I don't need no problems. I don't need no crit. Oh, hold on. We having issues here. We got to get this together. We got the mic situation. That's a little unstable. All the way, I gotta put this all the way up here because I gotta get it out of the way. Oh, come on, man. Get it out of the way. We good? How's it sound? The audio straight? We all right? I ain't gonna get no messages, no inboxes, no DM saying, we don't hear nothing, son. We don't. Yeah. So tonight on the Daily Go Get It Business Show, we are talking about how do you know when you've made peace with it? How do you know when you have made peace with it? What does making peace with something mean? What does it mean to you? More importantly, what does making peace with something mean to you? Now, I mean, I think that everybody in life should probably be headed towards trying to achieve peace in their lives. But what does achieving peace in your life mean? Now, I'm talking about the real shit. I'm talking about the street shit. I'm talking about the shit that you think about when you're at home. I'm talking about, when you really think about the things that are going on in your sphere, in your perimeter, in your surroundings, the things that are going on within you, around you, about you, peace. I've made peace with it. Now, for a lot of people, making peace with something kind of means that they've accepted it. Like, all right, yeah, I can't change it. I realize that it exists, and I won't be able to get rid of it if I choose to exist with it. I have to accept that this thing is here. If I'm going to have this, then I have to have this along with it. It's like for an easier example, but maybe not the best example. It's like I love ice cream, but I have to accept that I'm going to have to eat chocolate when I really only like vanilla, or I have to eat vanilla when I really only like chocolate. So I've made peace with it. I'm going to still have my ice cream. Yo, it really seems that I gotta have chocolate, but it's still ice cream. I'm going to have my ice cream. Yo, it really is. I would rarely have chocolate when I want vanilla, but I'm going to still have that. Yo, pass it, fella. Yo, give me a cone. I won't leave it alone. I'm about to eat this shit and I'm on my own. I would rather have a different kind of flavor, but I'm going to do this because I got it from my neighbor. And beggars can't be choosers, even though I want to choose it, because the chooser never be the loser. Yo, and you know how it goes down. Yeah, I made peace with it, and it doesn't sound like I really made peace with it, but I have. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to meet you on the ad. Now to show you I am full of peace. Everything is all right. Yo, I signed the lease. Got a new apartment, new lease on life. Got a new house with a pool. No fool. I'ma see you in the summertime. We about to cook out. Look out for the cookout. Made peace with it. When you have made peace with it, what does it mean to you? I got the poll question up. 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 I got the poll. Y'all got the poll question up. What does making peace with something mean to you? Well, we need to find out exactly what it means. I'm seeing something odd. Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. All right. We good? Do I need to wipe off the screen? We good? Are we all right? We all right? We good? Okay. What does making peace with something mean? You know, like, I'm really confused. I mean, honestly, even with me, I'm wondering, like, does making peace with something mean that you accept it and that you're going to live with it? There's so many different ways to make peace with something, and there's so many different things that you might have to make peace with. I'm going to go into something right now, and I'm going to get this out of the way, even though it may get in some people's way. So I'm going to apologize in advance for bringing the party down. But if you've ever been diagnosed with a terminal illness, now, in the beginning of the diagnosis, you may fight against it. You may tell yourself, "No, I'm going to win this. God got my back. I'm going to make it through this thing. I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight." And you know, some people fight and they win, and some people lose the fight. And I hate this, especially when it comes to like cancer or whatever. I hate to say that anybody lost that battle. I'm just going to say that, you know, the battle with cancer is just sometimes the time. Sometimes it's just the time with cancer for some people. But for the person that has received the diagnosis, at some point in their journey and in their battle, they may have to make peace with the disease, make peace with the condition. In other words, I understand that this thing may be a little stronger than me, and I may have to accept my fate, but I've made peace with it. In other words, I'm not afraid to die. I've made peace with it. In other words, I've taken care of my last rites. I've got my people together. I can leave here peacefully and have my children set up, and you know, get all my affairs. I've gotten all my affairs in order. I've made peace with it. I made peace with it. 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 Peace with it. Made peace with it. With it. I made peace 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 with it. Got a long way to go. I made peace with it. We can share this earth. I made peace with it. I'm not mad about it no more. I made peace with it. I'm not saying that I'm waving the white flag, but I made peace with it. Sign a treaty, sign a contract, baby. I made peace with it. I reconciled with my friends. I made peace with it. We on speaking terms now. I made peace with it. I've decided what's important. I made peace with it. It's gonna be alright. I made peace with it. I'm no longer worried what other people think. I made peace with it. I took the mask off. I made peace with it. Some things are not going to happen. I made peace with it. It's going to be all right. I made peace with it. I forget my dad, I made peace with it. I remember what my mom did, but I made peace with it. It's gonna be alright, I made peace with it. It don't matter what happened when I was young, I made peace with it. Yo, you dissed me, but I made peace with it. I stayed around, but I made peace with it. I'm not bulletproof, but I made peace with it. I'm gonna be good, I made peace with it. I understand you try to kill my spirit, but I made peace with it. I know God got my back and I made peace with it. The devil is always busy, but I made peace with it. I ain't fucking with y'all like that, I made peace with it. You could try to bring me down, but I made peace with it. Still haunted by my fears, but I made peace with it. Keep your dog on a leash, baby, I made peace with it. Got on a plane for the first time, I made peace with it. I may never be a star, but I made peace with it. I ain't getting back with my ex, I made peace with it. Though we good, I made peace with it. I made peace with it. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Let's get into it. This is the Urban Therapy with Sun Show. No. It's the Daily Go Getimism Show. No. It's the daily. It's the Daily Go Getimism Show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it is? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off fast lane, no coasting, and everything is gonna be all right. We talking about how you know you made peace with it tonight. I said everything is good. I made peace with it. Fuck is y'all talking about? Always on my back. I made peace with it. People be reminding me that I used to be on drugs. I made peace with it. Yeah. I was promiscuous in my past, made peace with it. Yeah, I remember all the crazy shit that I did. I made peace with it. I was a sucker for love. I didn't know my ex. I made peace with it. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, you had me like that, but I made peace with it. I know you don't think I can move on, but guess what? I made peace with it. Let's go. Let's stay together. What we going do now? Let's stay together. How my people's feeling, man? How y'all doing, man? We all right? Are we all right? T carry right morning, noon, and night. It's always great to have my peoples going directly into your sight. And Amia Cunham, thanks for coming on through for real. And Shirley Cheryl, the world's most precious, greatest pearl in the world. Always good to see you here, girl. And my man, I heart Oakland. I heart Oakland, man. I appreciate you coming through on a regular basis. Very consistent lately. Very consistent. I appreciate y'all. Cheryl Horsey. We go Cheryl for Cheryl. We go Pearl for Pearl. You already know. Thanks for coming through, y'all. So we talk, y'all get the gist. Do y'all get the gist? We are talking about how do you know? We're asking the question. How do you know when you've made peace with it? What does making peace with something mean to y'all? What does making peace with something mean to y'all? Does it mean that you've accepted something? Does it mean that something does not hurt you anymore? Does it mean that you're no longer mad at something, angry about something, frustrated about something? You're no longer trying. Does it mean that you're no longer trying to change it, adjust it, improve it, upgrade it, make it better? What does making peace with something mean? What does it mean? What y'all got? What do y'all got? What y'all know? I heard Oakland says battle with cancer is kind of like Buster Douglas versus Mike Tyson, or just George Foreman versus Joe Frazier. Wow. That's a hell of an analogy there, sir. That's a hell of an analogy there, sir. Cheryl Hudson says, yes, we love to feel the emotions. Word. Our heart Oakland says, oh, does he do this often? Oh, yeah, we do this every single day, every single day, every day. Every day it rains, every day it rains, and the DG will do the same. We break it down, baby. So, yeah, making peace with it. Making peace with it. When I thought about the title of this show, I said, yeah, that's it. I've made peace with it. Because we say this, we say these kind of things. We hear other people say it. Yeah, I've made peace with it. What does that mean? Does that mean that you've forgiven somebody? It could mean part of that, right? It could mean that totally. But why wouldn't you just say that you forgive somebody? Is forgiveness and making peace with somebody the same thing? Because when I think about making peace with something, I think more like, okay, you know what? We can be friends again. I think more like along the lines of reconciliation. Like, all right, we can kick it again. But does it have to be that way? Because maybe I'm wrong. Because when I think about it a little longer, I'm like, nah, just because I made peace with it, that don't mean that that I'm ready to continue on or whatever. It could just mean that, I accept that this is the way it is, and there's nothing I can do to change it, and there's nothing you're going to do to try to change it or improve it or make it better or upgrade it or anything like that. So I made peace with it. I made peace with it. Is what it is. It is what it is. Like, okay, this is a triangle. This is a triangle. It ain't nothing else. There's no other thing that you can make out of it. It's a triangle. Yeah, it's stainless steel too, but the shape of it is a triangle. You can't make it into a circle. It doesn't bend. You're not going to open it up and make it an open open air rectangle or be able to bend it into a hexagon or pentagon. You can't do that. Pentagon. No, pentagon has 5 sides. So even no, you're going to have to accept that have you made peace with the fact that it's a triangle. It ain't nothing. It's definitely not a rectangle. You're not going to be able to make it a circle. No matter how much you get at it, it won't hurt you. It's a triangle, baby. Have you made peace with it? Do you understand? Do you try to change my man? It's a triangle, baby. It ain't nothing else. No matter what you do, you got to go for self. Put yourself first. That don't mean that you're bad. It doesn't even mean that you're selfish. Yo, don't be mad at yourself because yourself was born first. Nobody came into this world without a hearse, because you know that the time has to come that you gotta close your eyes for the last time, son. But before then you fulfill your life. It's like filling up a bowl with cereal. Do you understand? I got soul, you got soul, we got soul. Yo, we all got soul. It's like, I know it got soul. You know what I'm saying? 1987. You know what I'm saying? That Eric B. and Rakim shit. So, how do you know that you have made peace with it? Y'all too quiet. Y'all too quiet. What are we doing? What are we doing? How do you know when you've made peace with something? Think about the things in your life that you feel like you've made peace with. Do you ever use the term? Because there's a good chance that you may have never used the term making peace with it. You know, I mean, you could be the rigorous type or the rigid type that, doesn't really like to make peace with anything. But then at the same time, you could be the type of person that doesn't need to make peace with anything because you keep things okay. But when somebody, let me ask y'all this, because I was about to make the statement, but I think it'll be better for me to just ask the question. If somebody has done you wrong, if somebody has shitted on you, if somebody has twisted, took your heart up out your chest, squeezed it to death, poked around it a little bit, if somebody has consistently done you wrong, done you dirty, been disrespectful, and and you still stay with them, and you have accepted that that's just their way. I mean, a lot of people don't. A lot of people stay in there and endure the abuse. But if you're the type that has done that or has ever experienced that, if you decide to stay with that person and stick it out and have accepted that that person is the way that they are, have you made peace with that? Like I made peace with if you're a woman who is in a physically and emotionally abusive relationship or marriage, like I accept that, you know, my husband, may beat on me sometimes when he gets drunk or when he gets really, really mad or frustrated or when the Eagles lose. And he might call me a fat tub of lard, fat tub of lard. Why are you always calling me a fat tub of lard? I swear, that's on God. He always calling me a fat tub of lard. Have you made peace with it? Like, that's just his way. That's just his way. I'm going to stay because that's just his way. Have you made peace with it? Is that something that you make peace with, or have you just accepted your toxic fate? Is it the same thing? Is it the same thing? Shirley Cheryl says, to me, it's like when you love the grass because it's green. I love it because it's soft, but is your reason better than mine? It doesn't matter. We both love grass. So you made peace with that? That's a form of making peace? It's interesting. It is. That's interesting. I would have never, I would have never thought about putting it like that. You something else. Stacy White holding it down for the D all day, every day. What's good? How you feeling? How you feeling? And my people's Kareem Akbar Muhammad, salam alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. She says, assalamu alaikum. Say wa alaikum assalam. The universal greeting from the people of Islam. That's what the poor righteous teachers used to say back in the day. Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. A universal greeting from the people of Islam. So, made peace with it. Made peace with it. When was the last time that you feel like you've made peace with something? I know that the last time I made peace with something was, I believe it was last year, getting close to this time, when my man's died last year. When my man Lawrence died, and there was some unfinished business between he and I. You know what I mean? That was my man or whatever, but there was some things we probably should have shored up, sewn up, gotten together before his passing. But I realized that he was already in a state where, some people are just not going to let it go. Or should I say, some people are just not going to tell you or answer your questions. They're not going to tell you what you're asking or what you need to know, or answer your questions no matter what. So, I had to make peace with the fact that he was going to go, and that he did go, and that some things weren't going to be, there were going to be some questions that lingered in my mind that I wasn't going to be able to get answered. Like, why didn't you fight for your life? Like, for real. Why did you not fight for your life? And when I think about it, it's possible that he made peace with his condition. He never let on that he did, but it's possible that he made peace with his condition. Now, that can make a situation very hard, because when somebody makes peace with a situation that you need them to stand up and fight for, or fight against, or resist, you may not be ready to make peace with what they made peace with. You understand what I'm saying? You may not be ready to make peace with what somebody else is making peace with. So I think that was the last time I had to make peace with something. but it certainly wasn't the first time. That might have been the last time I had to make peace with something, but it certainly wasn't the first time. Because in 2021, I had to, when my dad passed, I had to make peace with that. And there were a lot of things that I needed to know from him and that I wanted to know from him before he passed. And I had to make peace with the fact that I'm not going to get that information. It's a dub, son. It's a dub. Making peace with the fact that you can't get what you want. That might not be something that you ever want to make peace with, but it might be something that you have to make peace with in order to grow. So the other question on the poll is, does making peace with something mean that you've moved on? Is making peace with something and moving on the same thing? Or can you make peace and stay? Do you have to move on after you've made peace? Or can you stay? And we might have to look a little deeper into what staying means. What does staying mean? Is staying a physical thing? Or is it a mental and emotional thing? When you stay, like your body's here with me, but your mind is on the other side of town. You're messing me around, like what we doing, son? What we doing, son? What you make sure the mic ain't hitting the bones, are they? Okay. Damn, Kareem Akbar Muhammad said, I will never forgive my ex-wife. She is toxic and diabolical. But have you made peace with it? Have you made peace with the fact that she's toxic and diabolical? Because, I mean, if you don't think that making peace with something means that you have to go back or that you have to return or that you have to sustain or maintain, then you might be able to, make peace with it. And look, there's a good chance that you might not want to make peace with it. It's actually is making peace with something a choice? Is it a personal choice, or is it something that you have to do? Are you obligated to make peace with something? Are you obligated to make peace with something? Y'all got to talk to me. Y'all got listen. I'm going to hit y'all. I'm going to hit you, not physically, but listen, I'm going to keep belting out examples until it be like, bow, bow, bow. So y'all might as well give it up. Stacey White says, I love my daddy and I made peace with it. I'm his baby girl and I'm glad to be here. He taught me a lot of things. That's what's up. That sounds good. Mia says, I've taken it is what it is on certain people, places, and things. Is it being what it is? When we say it is what it is that a form of making peace? Or is that, is that making peace with it? It is what it is. Because when I say it is what it is, I can be saying two things. I can say that I've accepted that that's what it is. I accept it. Or I can say, well, I can use it as an acknowledgement. Yeah, I'm not in denial of it. That's what it is. It is what it is. I acknowledge that it is what it is. Like, yo, the boy's not a decent person. It is what it is. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I've made peace with it. It is. It is what it is. You know what it is. Shout out to my man T.I. You know what it is. Kareem says, no, I haven't made peace. I even went to therapy and had people pray. Well, shoot. That actually sounds like a good idea, and it sounds like growth to me. That sounds like growth. Peace to you for doing that. Shit, you know how it is. Black men in therapy. That shit is like, come on, man. You know what I mean? That shit is like magnets that are polar opposites. Well, no, I think when magnets are opposite, then they stick. When they the same, you know, you can't get them to stick. Right? Something like that. But yo, man, seriously, peace to you for going to go get yourself some help. Peace to you for helping yourself. Seriously. I take therapy very, very seriously. And it's something that more black people need to wake up. I mean, look, man, we've been through so much shit. We've been through too much trauma. We all got PTSD. And we don't even know it. We thinking that shit only exists or applies to soldiers who have been in war. Nah. You around here, you know, carrying the weight of when you saw your parents get abused, or when some of y'all have seen your siblings or maybe even your parents get killed. You know what I'm saying? Violence, fear, poverty, lack of education, and the acceptance of all of that like it's normal. Growing up around all of that and normalizing all of that shit. But mad traumas, being told to just suck it up, be a man, accept it because this is the way it is. This is where we come from. This is what we do. Yeah, we a lot of us suffer from PTSD from that shit. And none of us, well, I ain't gonna say none of us, but not nearly enough of us are getting treated. And then when somebody recognizes that they need help, we want to diss them. He's just not strong. He's just not strong. You know, she's just weak. She can't deal with it. She can't deal with it, son. She couldn't deal with it. Meanwhile, most of us can't deal with it. You know what I mean? Get that help. Be proud of yourself for that. I wish somebody would clown somebody that's going to therapy. Shit. And sometimes the cases are so severe that I've seen therapy fail. I've seen therapy fail. Like, damn, are you going to therapy? What the fuck? What the fuck? But one thing I will never make peace with. I will never make peace with lack of education. I will never make peace with poverty. I will never make peace with sadness, depression, despair, and hopelessness. I will not make peace with that. I don't know about you, but I'm a fight to the death. We gonna go out like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee. Nah, not making peace with none of that shit. Somebody, one of us, some of us, a bunch of us gotta fight the power. No, I will not make peace with sadness, despair, homelessness, poverty, lack of education, abuse, false information, propaganda. I'm not making peace with that. Fuck that shit. Okay, let's go. Shirley Cheryl says, say no to abuse, no hitting, Omar. Okay. Right. Mia says, it is a way of making peace. I may not agree with it, but I understand that it is that miss what it is, or you mean to say that it is what it is. Cool. She says, certain things I've walked away from, and that is protecting my peace. I've made peace with the fact that humans are flawed. Oof. Oof. And the resolve I want may not be the resolve I'm going to get. Ooh, the resolve. Or do you mean the resolution? Okay. Stacey White says, who is he calling a fat table? He definitely won't be beating on me. A fat table? You mean a fat tub of lard? Fat tub of lard. Yo, he so called you a fat tub of lard. Mia says, kudos to therapy, no doubt. Kareem says, thanks, my brother, you're very helpful. Man, shit, man, we don't help each other. Who gonna help us? Matt says, you are one of these black supremacists. Am I? Oh, shit. Shit. Well, one thing is for sure, Matt, you have no fear. You have nothing to fear from a black supremacist, because that means they ain't going to stop you from getting no jobs, keep you from going to any schools, keep you from moving into any neighborhoods. Black supremacists can't do shit that white supremacists can do. So, shit. If you think I'm a black supremacist, look, you came right in here and wrote that shit. You ain't have no fear. Shout out to black supremacy. Welcome. Kareem says, shit was real, bro. They had me in the hospital, not allowed to leave. Shit. Mia says, Kareem, my brother, I encourage you to continue with therapy. Not all therapists are a good fit for you. Find your fit and continue. I co-sign that. Big boy says, I mean, black supremacists can do all of those things. Oh yeah? Well, show me where a black supremacist has persevered. If y'all only knew how many arguments I get into on a regular basis about this kind of shit. You know, like Obama didn't do nothing for black people. This person didn't do nothing for black people. No, he ain't do nothing for black people. He could have done more than nothing for black. Well, I'm like, well, show me somebody. Give me one person that you say did a lot for black people. Like, because if you call Barack Obama soft and that all he cared about was the gays and all of that kind of shit, the LGBTQ, RSTWXYZ, MOUSE. Well, show me somebody that blew the roof off and took all of these black people to the promised land. Any name. That's my challenge, because black people like to talk a lot about what somebody else hasn't done or didn't do or should have done or what they would have done. Well, I'm just like, show me somebody who did what you say nobody else could do. Give me a name so I can fuck you up with real information. I don't care if you talking about Martin Luther King or Malcolm X and all of that kind of stuff, because history has treated these men a lot better than they were treated at the time that they was doing their thing. A lot of our people will have you thinking that everybody was following Martin Luther King. Meanwhile, when you ask the people in your own family, black men, women, and children, when you ask the people in your family, yo, did you ever march with Dr. King? 9 times out of 10, they're going to say no. No, they ain't do that shit. And think about it. You ain't marching now. You ain't marching and ain't fighting and ain't doing shit now. Was your people in the Black Panthers? Your people from Oakland, right? They from California. Was they down with the Panthers? No, they wasn't down with the Panthers. Your people from New York. Did they follow Malcolm X? Was they at the Audubon ballroom when he got killed? Like, no. Hardly anybody followed Malcolm X when he was alive. And that's not a diss. That's not a diss to the man, to the minister. It's not a diss. But it's the truth. He wasn't popular when he was alive. He wasn't. He died broke. He did. I'm not dissing him. I'm just telling the truth. History and time has done a lot for their legacy. But they have you thinking that all black people was participating. No, they wasn't. No, they wasn't. Your family wasn't. Mine wasn't. They wasn't. I've asked, like, Mom, was you following Dr. King back in the day? No. My dad wasn't either. Now, he did follow the Nation of Islam or whatever, but he wasn't out there in the trenches. Plus, he had a little thing for white women. Like the shoes didn't fit. Now, I'll tell you something. I've had to make peace with the fact that my dad had a little thing for white women. It was hard for me to make peace with it, but it's the truth. He had a little thing for him. He had a little thing. He talked a lot of that black shit all the time, but his dick said otherwise. Same thing as Martin Luther King. Matt says Kanye is showing what's good. Kanye is a dickhead. So I see you just want to have something to say, but that's cool. You come to the right place. All right, Stacey White says, I'm not going to just accept anything in my life. I worked hard and internally and outside. Okay. I have made peace also with my health. Okay. So what does making peace with your health mean? What does it mean? Mia says, Stacey, if not too personal, what do you mean that you've made peace with your... Damn, you asked the same question. Dang. I said, dang. I said, dang. I said, dang. Big Boy says, that's for the opposite. That's the opposite for me. All right. Not even sure what you mean. All right. Cheryl Halsey says, I understand the death I've had in the past 10 years, but I am not at peace. I will continue to pray. I understand. I understand. I understand. I do. I've had to make peace with people's conditions. I've had to make peace with death and all, because I had to. You know what I mean? Death is the most final thing that we have in this world. None of us can stop it. We can't stop it. As long as we keep living, we're going to have to see that. So I'm like, I got to make peace with this thing because I don't know how many I'm going to lose along the way. Big Boy says, Dad's always going on the racism shit, but his only kid is mixed. You talking about your dad? What are you talking about? My bad, Big Boy. You talking like you're continuing a conversation like we didn't just start it. Do me a favor, y'all. Hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Share the show. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. This is the Daily Go Getimism Show. I'm your host, Sun752, aka Omar with the. And we are talking about how do you know when you've made peace with it? How do you know when you've made peace with it? If y'all would like to call into the show, I said, if you like to call into the show, I said, yo, here's how it would go. I said, if you want to call into the show, if you want to get on the phone and say what you know, yo, I'ma just tell you right now, yeah, I'm about to show you how. I said a 267-874-1949. That's the number to call. I said a 267-874-1949. Yes, y'all. I said a 267-874-1949. Yeah, get on the line. I said a 267-874-1949. Yeah, get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. Get your shine, baby. 267-874-1949, baby. Zoom y'all in a little bit. Call 267-874-1949. I get you on the line. The lines are open. I get you on the lines. The lines are open. Everything is gonna be okay. You think it's not? I say, yeah, call 267-874-1949. It should be hot. Okay. So, listen, I made a video today about how to shape your beard up. Go to the channel, please. Go to the channel and watch the video. It's about 20 minutes long, but anybody out there who wants to learn how to shape up their beard, if you've never done it before, I mean, I go through it step by step for how I do it or whatever. So if you like the way I do my shit, it goes through the shit, like, step by step. Matter of fact, I can pull it up for what? Yeah.
You have a call from.
All right. Hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. Yeah. You check out the video. Yeah, here we go. Hold on. About how to cut your beard or how to trim the beard. So now to you, it may look like my shit. I'm gonna go with these. So hold on. So I go right through it. You know what I mean? Show you how to oil the clippers and all that shit. All right. So I go through the whole thing. Hold on. Show you how to shape that shit up. Get your shit right. This is like a tutorial. So yeah, go check it out, man. You know what I mean? It's just a little video, instructional. Even if you're a woman and you don't, you know, you don't have no beard, nothing like that. It's still a good video. Help your boy out. Okay. Mia Cunningham says, my mom was down with marching with the Panthers. My dad wasn't with none of it. But back on topic. Hey, I'm just saying. But that's what's up though. All right, Matt says trillions given to Saudi kings while they go nothing for. Oh, you mean why they do nothing for humanity with that money? Wow, humanity. Well, let me ask you this, Matt. If they gave millions or even trillions to people, do you think that would be doing something for humanity? Because that sounds like it would be doing something for capitalism. Can you improve capitalism and serve humanity at the same time? What is your version of humanity? Because when I think about helping out humanity, it don't have nothing to do with money. I'm thinking about making a way, basically giving you the fishing pole instead of the fish. But I'm just asking. All right. Big Boy says your dad had a thing for white women talking black power. Yeah. I mean, he never talked about black power, but he did talk about black empowerment. He did talk about black ownership and black liberation and things like that. He did. And I wouldn't say that he was fronting, but I mean, it's just that his dick stood up for the snow bunnies. He ain't alone. A lot of men. Every black leader that ever did anything either fell victim to the money or the pussy. Sometimes the pussy wasn't black. Martin Luther King had a real thing for white women. That was his thing. Ask J. Edgar Hoover. That's what he tried to blackmail him for. He's like, yo, man, you got a whole wife. And you out here fucking these white bitches, you know what I mean? Talking all of that, we shall overcome shit. And Martin was like, go ahead and tell him. My people don't give a fuck about none of that shit. So go ahead. They had to get him up out of there with that. Like, oh, he ain't going for the okie doke. All right. Stacy says, only my family and my close friends know about my health. I don't talk about my health to everybody. That's the way I protect myself, and God shields me. I can respect that. Big Boy says, my dad had a thing for dark women talking white power. Really? Okay. Mia says, when my mom told me she made peace with her diagnosis, I had no choice but to ride with her decision. She also says, especially when she said that she's lived a long life and she ain't afraid to die, and that we really don't die. She was ready to go. I had to accept that. Still trying to make peace with it though. I feel you. I felt every letter of what you wrote. Because when my dad used to always talk about how he was going to live to be 100 and beyond. And when he, at 83 years old, when he told me, well, you know what I mean? I've lived a long life. You know what I mean? I fought the good fight. You know what I mean? I put in the work. I was like, what you talking about? Oh, no, we not doing that. We not doing that. Shit. He had something for me. He was doing that. He was doing that, son. Caller with the last number is 1132. Welcome to the Daily Go Get Business Show. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for holding. What's on your mind tonight? What's good?
Hi.
Hello.
This is Stacy. I have to accept peace that God got somebody for me. I have to wait for his timing. That really frustrates me because I'm serving him and I want to, I'm tired of waiting because my person haven't met. Well, he manifests himself a little bit, but not all the way to me. I call him my kingdom husband. And if I want the best, I have to wait, And also, I have made peace. I look normal, but I'm not. So it's like I have the best of both worlds. I can't help how God made me. And I'm not angry about my situation. Like some people be so angry and they go off on themselves before other people start going off. I'm not doing that because I'm believing in God's manifestation for myself. I'm just looking at who's with me and who's not with me. Because when he do manifest my healing, I'm going to know not to bother with that person or whether it's a female friend or whatnot, So, and then only how you're going to know what's going on with me if God uses me to tell it. I have a support group that I'm in that helps me out. Not just this group, I'm also in another group, and we are kind of like going through the same things, but my conditions are a whole lot worse than other people's, and it's not.
Okay.
I'm taking care of myself. I'm in my own home. I cook, I clean, I do for myself. You know what I mean? I get around myself. I believe that I'm pretty, I keep myself up, and God is using me, and I'm not, I'm not going to diss myself. I have had people diss me and throw rocks and stuff at me, and I'm like, okay, that's your opinion. So, as far as the man goes, that's frustrating. Because I'm going to stay my position. He needs to do what he needs to do to find me or be patient with me and do what he needs to do like he's supposed to, provide and protect. I can't sit up there and do and, go before God, and I'm not. And it's hard. Sometimes I be wanting to get delivered from that. And it's be by myself, but it's just meant for me to be with a man, it's meant for me to be with a man. I can't help that. And I gotta make peace with that. And that's hard.
Now, wait a minute. What does making peace with something mean to you? I just want to, get an exact read on what you mean when you say make peace with it, because my version of making peace with something might be different than your version of making peace with it. So can you explain to me what making peace with something means to you?
the guy that I'm attracted to right now, he can't help how he is, how he carry himself. He can't help that he's good looking, but I have to make peace with disrespectful women, and he might not want to, talk about his relationship to everybody. Maybe that's a way of keeping his significant other, me, safe, and it's a lot of disrespectful women, challenge the relationship, and he can't help how he is. And I can't be getting angry at him because of how he is, and I can't be, how can I say this? I just, I can't let them, interfere in the breakup. If we're going to break up, it got to be us breaking up, not outside people trying to break us up. Mm-hmm. And that's making peace. That's what making peace is to me. And I got to get to that point. And I be praying sometimes, and like I said, God put men on my heart, and I can't help who He put on my heart. Mm-hmm. I done had some nice looking, decent men in my life. I ain't always just choose anything in my life. I ain't never choose those street dudes. They always had a job or a car. They might not have had a home, but they had a job and a car.
Okay.
And when I say a home, they probably still with their mom.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever? Let me ask you this. Have you ever been married?
No.
Do you ever think that you're going to be married?
I have a feeling I'm going to.
Okay. All right. Because some people might have to make peace with, they may never get married, or they may never have to, have children or something like that. And it may not be an easy thing for some people to make peace with. But in order,
I have made peace. I'm not going to have no children. I don't know if my partner have made peace with it. I also just the other day I just discovered, I was like, I don't think this is going to be my forever home, my apartment. I thought that it probably would be, but I don't think it's going to be my forever home.
Okay.
I'll probably be fine if it is, or if it is, but I don't think so. And I don't think I'm gonna always be in an apartment.
Well, you wouldn't want an apartment to be your forever home, would you?
I'm fine. I'm so peaceful. If anything break down, I ain't gotta worry about it. I got to chill in a little house that I had. In the end, I'm perfectly fine. I got good tenants in this apartment. I don't worry about nothing. I really don't. I'm so in my soft area. You don't see me, just going off and mean. I think if I'm mean, it's because I ain't getting none. But other than that, I'm happy.
Okay. All right. Well, so what was the last thing? If you haven't said it already, what was the last thing that you had to make peace with?
Me not carrying kids.
Oh, okay. All right. So how do you make peace with that, or what's the process that goes into making peace with that? Like, let me explain to you what I mean.
The way I was set up and the way God set me up, I was always protected when I did do something. I always got checked out. I didn't want anybody in my life to have kids with. So part of it is the way that, part of it was my fault too, the reason why I don't have kids too, I feel. And when I turned 50, I thought I was safe. I just thought I was safe because I didn't have to worry about that no more. I still think I have to worry about it because I'm still not out of the game yet. But when God brought me my cat in my life, that was like my little baby, my little fur baby, and I was cool. I'm cool with it. I'm at peace with that. And maybe God know about my healing, and He didn't want to make it worse. Now, some of my friends, they knew they were sick, they went on and had kids anyway, and they kids must they body up more.
Okay.
They got sick more, and because everybody was in their ear, you need kids and you need marriage. If you know that's not for you, why you gonna let people, make you weak, and you're gonna go do it anyway, and you didn't get the right outcome. You have to be strong in that area if that's not what God called you to do.
Mm.
Kids mess their body up and they was already sick.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like, okay, was it easier for you to make peace with it after you got older, or like when you were younger? Were you told that you couldn't have children, or did you just, was it just that you practiced safe sex so much that children never became a factor?
I practiced it so much, didn't know. I was never told that, and that's why I still be protecting my uterus.
So
still be protecting. I was never told that I couldn't have kids, and I don't call me selfish or whatnot, but I was looking at the big picture, and I think while a lot is jealous or hating on me because I don't have kids, and I made it a point not to for a reason.
Okay.
It wasn't that I wasn't active. It wasn't that I couldn't get a man or, nothing like that. It's just that I prayed a lot and I protected myself a lot. And I didn't have that many men.
So like you use condoms all the time?
Yeah.
All the time?
All the time.
And they never like broke or nothing like that? Ain't nobody ever get no free strokes?
I told you I prayed.
So let me Daddy would have asked you. I said, so hold on. So let me get this straight. Every time you've had sex, you use condoms. Every single time?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Really?
And it's one person that really wanted to be with me in that way. And I was like, I don't care if we didn't know. I really prayed.
What was you praying about if you made a music?
I prayed for protection, and He protected me. And He gave me a dream. And they thank God, you don't do stuff like that. Stuff happen in life. You ain't gonna always be on a glory cloud.
So you have never felt a man's natural dick inside of you ever?
I felt it, but I felt it. Just because it was wrapped up, that don't mean I didn't feel it.
No, it does mean no. There's a difference.
Yes, you can't get that concept, but I felt it, and I was protected.
Okay. All right.
And I have no kids, and I'm 54, and there's choices I had to make.
Okay. I mean, I'm just asking because I honestly I've never heard anything like this before. This is unprecedented. This is amazing.
And some people think you're gonna get the man by keeping him, and if he's gonna be with you, he's gonna be with you regardless. He that type of man. You just and if he don't, okay, that's the way I think. But I get tired, and my guys do be, they be nice looking, and women be coming for them. Mm-hmm. You gotta have a strong mind at the top and at the bottom, because there's some dirty women out here.
Dirty women.
Dirty women, the way they act. Your friends come on you. My friend had me questioning my immorality. I know I ain't did nothing wrong, She went after my man, and like I took him from her, and I didn't. She didn't like him. She didn't like him at all. She started liking him when I started liking him. I ain't made peace with that. I thought I made peace with.
Mm-hmm.
You question the way my parents raised me and the way I am.
Okay.
So yeah, it's hard. My kids. I don't think I'm kids, so I don't think about it.
Okay.
I probably have to go to therapy for that, but I ain't going by myself.
Well, okay. So let me just ask you this last thing. When, like, in your opinion, when you make peace with something, does that mean acceptance for you, or does it mean moving on for you?
It means acceptance for me because like I said, I love my father. I was angry at my father for a long time. My father and my mother, where my mother told me the truth, my father was a hypocrite about certain things, and he lied about certain things. My father, I wouldn't call my father a hoe. He was a player. And I was very angry at him for a long time, even while he was alive, Sometimes I would talk to him, and to keep from being disrespectful towards him, I wouldn't answer the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I finally got to be a grown woman and told him how I felt and answered, when he answered I answered the phone, and we was cool. And I'm glad of that because I didn't know my father was dying.
Oh, okay.
And I was so glad that I made it to the funeral. I made peace with being angry with the situation. Just don't lie to me. Let me be the judge if I want to, think that's okay or not okay. Don't give me that chance. Don't lie to me. I don't like when you lie to me. And you could tell the truth and don't have to be mean telling the truth.
Okay.
And my mama was so doggone transparent and so real. I was like, damn, you can't do nothing but respect it.
Can you make peace with the fact that somebody lies all the time? Is that something you can make peace with?
No, because I got, well, maybe I can. It all depends on who it is. Because I got a cousin that, everybody think he's the greatest thing, but he'll tell a lie in a minute. He'll lie in a minute. And unnecessary lie.
Mm-hmm.
And you either choose to accept them or you don't.
Right.
So I know how he is. I choose to accept it. And the thing about it is when he do lie and he get it wrong, he always make it right. That's the reason why I accept it. He makes it right.
Oh, he makes it right. Okay.
Yeah, he makes it right, When I used to lie, and I ain't always been on the glory cloud, I didn't lie just to lie. And when I lied to get out of trouble. I didn't sit up there and tell lies just to be telling lies.
Yeah, I understand that.
Some people just like I didn't know my younger siblings. So when she got that from my daddy and her grandma,
Mm-hmm.
they was liars.
Oh, okay.
So why did I think she gonna be any different?
Mm.
But she probably ain't got that from where her daddy turned things around. She don't do that. It is what it is with her.
Okay.
So it's some things. I was glad to get peace with my dad because I was like, he had a table on hell with everybody else that I don't like on the side of my family.
Okay.
I was so angry, and I'm like, and I'm still dealing with it, but it is what it is, and I don't let it go.
Yeah.
He done showed me. He showed me what he did his thing while he was alive. Showed me what to look out for, and I actually have been experiencing certain things that he taught me about, and I done escaped. That's why I never called my dad a hoe. I just said that he was a player, and I think those are two different things.
You made peace with the fact that he was a player?
Yeah, because my daddy was married twice. And, he got divorced. I done seen some men, and they should be locked up, ain't even got a divorce from their wife and married twice.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I know about that.
Yeah, you know, and that's
I
good.
definitely know something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. So yeah, I make peace with who he is. You have to, because if you don't make peace with something, you will end up being mad and bitter.
Well, do you think
And like
that?
I had to make peace. A man is on me. Period. I can't just serve God and be in peace when I have all these feelings towards a man. You know, he gonna be in my life regardless.
Okay.
I gotta have peace with the type of man I choose. I be getting mad as hell, and then I end up turning it out on him. He can't help how he look and how he carry himself. I just glad that he know how to control himself, and he know it ain't about him.
Yeah.
And I had to work on that because I ain't always had that type of man. I have had a man get a baby on me, get a whole baby on me. That's the most hurtful thing.
Yeah. That.
And
Yeah.
that's the hurt. And I stayed with that shit. I stayed with him through that. That's hurtful.
How many years?
I stayed with him. Sure, this was the dude next door. I ain't really had no choice. I had a choice. I stayed with him for a couple of years. And matter of fact, he couldn't even see his. He was talking about he got raped. That was now she raped him. But anyway, I stayed with him, and it's just some stuff went down. I was so stupid, and I do vow to myself, you only be a fool one time.
Hopefully.
Hopefully one time,
Yeah.
because I don't think I can't do the hitting thing, and I definitely ain't doing the baby thing. You get a baby on me, and I'm doing the submitting. This is different because I'm in God. I wasn't in God then when I was with the dude to get the baby with me.
Okay.
That's two different things. Now I'm submitting and doing all the things that I need to do for him to keep this relationship on float. And then he still chose to do what he wanted to do. I would probably be quicker if he laid hands on me.
So let me get this straight. You was with the boy when he, didn't have that child, and y'all was together when he had a child.
Nah, I was with him when he went out of town and he ended up having a child. He had a son. And he came back to me like it wasn't nothing.
How long was y'all together when he got the other girl pregnant?
I kept saying we were just together. It had to be a couple of years, I took it in, and I stayed when I'm talking. I think it's like he wouldn't let me have nobody and move on because he was dragging that door looking at my every move. That's why I said I don't want to talk to nobody in my neighborhood no more. That's not a good thing to do.
It really ain't.
It really ain't. When they say songs about girls, the next girls next door. Nah, don't do it. It ain't good.
Yeah, that is. But what what I was asking you was, how long did y'all stay together after he had the baby? So how how old was the baby when you finally when y'all broke up or whatever?
I think I was already gone. Sometimes you could already mostly be gone as far as my physical stuff. And it might have been a minute. I can't count. I wasn't woke. So I don't know about all that. I know he used to do some stupid shit to get me in, bring the girl up here and then be hugging on me. And I know the family done told her about me. She could be whooping on my doggone blood, and he disrespectful. He was just disrespectful. Man, I just been through some stupid stuff that I vowed not to go through no more.
Yeah, I understand.
He hugging on me while his girl right there.
Yes. I mean, but I like a lot of women have been through what you've been through, and I never really thought about whether they tried to make peace with that or not, because I'm wondering, like, if a man has a baby on you, or if a woman has a baby on a man by somebody else, like if you
That's the most hurtful, painful thing. And y'all are boyfriend and girlfriend. That's hurtful. And don't let it be man and wife.
well, what I'm saying is, if you choose to stay, for the people who chosen to stay and forgive they spouse, or they woman, or they man, or whatever, does that mean that, I mean, in order to keep going in that situation, do you have to make peace with it? Is it possible?
You have to make peace with it. You have to have a relationship with the Lord to even make peace with that. I don't even think you can make peace with that on your own.
Mm-hmm.
You be like, no,
You have a call from
Troy.
What I'm saying is, I'm sure there are plenty of situations where something, and they still, they may have still stayed in the situation. They may instead of making peace with it, they may have decided to stay in the chaos, stay in the disruption, stay in the trouble, in the bad situation. But I'm wondering, as time goes by, like, if you are with a dude that is going to go out there and make babies. I've known some men who were married or unmarried. They was with a woman and they had multiple children on them while they was together. So does that mean that they main John, or they spouse has made peace with the fact that, listen, I know my husband go out, there's a good chance he might bring another baby back home? I mean, is that something you can make peace with, or is it just something that you accept?
I don't know. Maybe that's why God got me on the shelf. He know me better than I know myself. I don't know, because I know, like I said, when my dude did it, it was hurtful. It was very hurtful. And then he wasn't even close to his son like that.
Mm.
He wasn't close to his son like that. So he wasn't close, and like I said, it's just hurtful, and it's just certain things I thought that I would not do, and maybe that's why God got me on the shelf right now,
Mm.
And the only thing I'm glad is I made peace with my dad, because I am a part of my dad. I move like he do. I really do. I might have my mama ways, some of my mama ways, but I be knowing what y'all thinking before you think you know what you thinking. I just, 54 years out here, and ain't got caught up. No disease, no pregnancies. Hell no. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not trying to be funny, but you should have made sure your man took them condoms that he used with you when he went out of town.
You trying to do it. And then I be more crazy.
I was just saying, you know what I mean? All that
That's
prank.
that's why someone are crazy out here, because of Richard.
Look, all I'm saying is,
Richard, ain't that a good one? I like that one.
yeah, you caught it too? Yeah, I got you. You know what I mean?
Okay, Steve.
You know what I mean?
Some women be loving that Richard, boy.
I mean, shoot.
That's
I say protect Richard at all costs. but yeah, listen. I'm gonna let that stand what it is. Yo, Troy, what's good, man? How you feeling tonight?
Man, hey, I feel great, man. Staying prayed up, still waiting on the surgery to happen. So,
Okay.
still wait for what is needed to get fixed. And, but it's always great when I come on a live stream with my brothers and sisters and, talk about them, lay it on the line like Tony Brown back on the day used to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, lay it all on the line.
You know what I mean? But, I think that when
you got the Lord with you. That person ain't gonna do nothing.
that's the truth.
So wait. Hold on. So you know what we're talking about tonight?
Yeah.
Just reiterate how it. I know what you're talking about, but just reiterate how you were saying it when it's on. When you come on.
All right. But the title of the show is how do you know when you've made peace with it? So we're talking about when you've made peace with something.
Right.
So
you can. How I know is making peace to me is accepting it. It doesn't necessarily mean that you move on from it. Sometimes some things you can accept and move on. Like I can never accept my mom's death right now. It's been 5 years, and I can't accept the people that had something to do with it, like my niece and my older brother and my aunts. Anybody that contribute to keeping me and my middle brother away from the situation. I can't accept it.
okay.
I can't accept that. I can't accept bullshit.
Okay.
I'll give you room to hang yourself, but I can't. It's just certain things that I can't accept. And I was just talking to my brother about this the other night, and it got emotional because I was saying, I just wish that I didn't have a forgiving heart. I wish I had a black heart because I accept so much bullshit that forgiveness is easy with me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. I'm able to sit back and hear a person say sorry or this, that, and the other, and then they'll do the same thing. And I say, all right, well, we're going to work on it. And then I just keep going. It's just the same cycle. And then my mom always put in my head, if God can forgive you for your sins, how can you not forgive other people for theirs? And when nothing starts in you as a kid and you come up in life thinking that way, it doesn't give you enough room to sit back and say that person's wrong on things sometimes, or it doesn't give you enough room to step back. Like with my older brother, there is no forgiveness. There is no I'm gonna accept that. There is no I can't be in front of him.
Okay.
I can't see him. And that's where it's at right now because when you start remembering your upbringing and you start realizing that this person did not love me or care about me. And then when you get older and you start seeing how he talked on how he talked down on you, how he disrespected you, and you still try to be there for him despite how when your mother called you and say, listen, can you go make sure that these people's not bothering your older brother? And then he called you and say, can you ride with me to my girl house because I'm going through problems with her and I don't want a brother to say something to me. And then, it's certain, can I buy your 5 disc player? And then when you break it, I broke it. What the fuck you gonna do about it?
Well, that's definitely not that's definitely not making peace with something. So
I can't make peace with it.
Well,
the thing about it, son, a lot of things that a lot of things about me, I have to protect myself from me. Because I always say, if you don't protect yourself from yourself, you wind up in them alphabet places.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So let me let you speak on some of the things I was just saying, bro.
Well, what I was going to say was, I was actually going to ask you something. Like, how do you know Okay, you said that making peace with something to you means that you accept it, but um, I'm sure that there are levels to this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so making peace with something to me, it has a few elements in it. And I'm thinking that I can't say that I've made peace with something if it still gets on my nerves, if it still makes me angry, if I still am looking for a way to change it, improve it, upgrade it, make it better, or eliminate it. I can't say that I've made peace with it. That's why the title of the show is How Do You Know When You've Made Peace with It? Because it may not be as simple as as we may just blow it off. Like it's easy to say that you've made peace with something, but that could be something that you say in the line of defeat or in the line of frustration or or surrender. You understand what I'm saying? Like for some people, making peace with something might be a form of surrender. Like, all right, you got it. You know what I mean? Like Mia Cunningham in the chat was saying, it is what it is. For her, she's accepted that some things are what they are, or it is what it is. She's taken a it is what it is approach to a lot of things and a lot of people or whatever. And I get that, but that's not necessarily, to me, that's not necessarily making peace with it. We may have accepted it, we may have moved on from it, but I think in order to make peace with it, it has to not affect you at least the way that it used to. Now, that might just be my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
I can agree. I can agree with what you're saying, but there's also, you can make peace with something, and gradually it'll let you accept it even more. You're gonna make peace by accepting, and gradually, the more you accept it, the more it gradually moves on from it. But it doesn't mean that you just make peace with it. You make peace with it and accept it, and it directly goes away. Like the situation when I was talking to you about the Denny situation, right? I've made peace with it. I've accepted it. But at the time when I bumped into him, I know that I was going through another element of something else in my life that was major, that had I not protected myself and accepted it, like it would have took me to a different way. I might not be on the phone talking to you right now. Because see, at the end of the day, you have to be able to accept it. As soon as you accept it, now what happens is you get tested with it. Like I feel like when you accept something, when you move on, when you accept it, and make peace with it and accept everything. Sometimes God allows the devil to put that person in front of you that you accepted the bullshit from, to test you. Let me see this test. Let me see if he really accepted this. Let's see if he reacts. And then you start acting like Eminem when you're around him. When you're around him, your arms have you throwing up mild spaghetti and all that other stuff. Now you're really ready to lose your fucking mind because you don't know what's your next move going to be. Let you walk away? Should you deal with it? How are you going to handle the situation? Because every time you get it's like even when you're in a relationship, right? When you're in a relationship and you accept certain situations, right? Mm-hmm. You forgive that person, or that person forgives you for what you've done. And then all of a sudden, that person sees the ring on your finger, but still approach you. You know what I mean? And there's no BBL because she didn't need a BBL because her body was just there. You like, bam, pow. You like, what the fuck? Here's the text. Did he apologize? Well, Let's test them again. There's so many tests that I just look at life as just one big test.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point in time, some of them you're gonna pass, some of them you might not pass. And the ones that you don't pass can leave you in the ground or in jail. Or it also can lead you to 302 in yourself to protect yourself from doing some harm to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people don't understand that you have to protect yourself, your mental stability. You have to protect your health. You have to protect your thoughts. You have to protect everything about it. Because see, me personally, when I'm in a relationship, right, and I'm not around that person, sometimes if you deal with a female and you call a phone and they don't answer the phone, sometimes a mental picture in your head can say, a mental picture hit your brain and be like, this bitch is screwing somebody. And then you start seeing them pictures in your head of what the hell could she be doing with this person? And that's the thoughts that you don't want to put in your head. Because them thoughts can make you jump in the car and ride right to that house.
But okay, now let's stay focused. We're talking about making peace with it. So, either you've made peace with something or you haven't made peace with it.
Wait, my fault. You gotta say gun to the head.
Yeah, no. Let me ask you this: what's the last thing that you think, or what's the last thing you have made peace with?
Let me see.
Because I was saying earlier that the last time I had to make peace with something was last year when my best friend died.
Yeah, I remember you told me about that.
Yeah, I had to make peace with it because there was a lot of unfinished, there was unfinished business, there was unresolved, trauma situations or whatever. But I had to make peace with it because it was nothing I could. The time never presented itself to be able to go through that. Like, I'm not the type of person that's going to, damn. I'm not the type of person that's going to push the issue when there's a more pressing issue at hand. So now that I'm saying that, I'm thinking like, damn, maybe I didn't really maybe I really didn't make peace with it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Maybe I pushed the pause button in hopes or en route to making peace with it, but maybe I didn't.
Right.
Shit.
What, that just triggered right now, what you just said?
Huh?
What you just said just triggered because you said shit.
Yeah, because I'm like, I thought I did. I thought I made peace with it, and maybe I know I accepted it, but maybe because I still think about it, I still wish things would have been a little bit different. And to be honest with you, I was angry that he didn't do more to fight for his life. So maybe I didn't make peace with it. You know what I mean? It might be easier to just say that I made peace with it, but maybe I didn't. Because the chapter is physically closed, but emotionally and mentally it's not.
Yeah.
I still wonder why.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, and that's the whole thing about it. You can make peace with it and you can accept it, but you can't. Sometimes you just can't move on from it. It doesn't mean that you're not accepting it. It's just that you can't take it to the next level of moving on. Because some things that you're making peace with, the things you're trying to make peace with, sometimes can be so hurtful and so harmful that you're accepting it, but the pain is still there. And you questioning, should I move on from it? And one thing about the mind won't allow you to move on from things that hurts a lot. Like, I can't accept what my father did to me. How my father didn't want to be part of my life because of the relationship I had with his father. It makes no sense because you punish a child because of what your father put you through, and he's not putting me through it. You punish me for that. You know, I can't accept the fact that he moved on and he took care of other people's kids, and they weren't his grandkids. He took care of his wife and nieces and stuff like that. And shit, I remember, I think I told you, went on my prom, and I found like 2 weeks before my prom that the girl I was going on a prom with was like my cousin, because my father was married to our aunt. And I remember staying over the house with them. And when we went the night I went on my prom, he called her and gave her money and didn't give me a dime. Then offered me one red fucking cent. You know, and it still hurted me when he died. But one thing about it, it hurts, but it doesn't hurt as much because when you didn't develop that relationship, you can accept that easily.
Yeah.
You can accept that more easily. Like, I can accept, like, it's one person in my life that was like a brother to me. His name was John Preston. Got killed over a basketball game. I grew up with 20th and Carpenter. This is one of my best friends. The great people you grow up with, that's your family. That's your nucleus. That's your brothers.
Yeah.
He got killed over a basketball game. He just came back from playing against Alonzo Mourning. You know, we was busting it up, talking about it and this, that, and the other. And he wasn't in the drug game. So I think about him every day, just like you think about your best friend. I think about him every day, and he developed within me to tell people that I love them, whether it's a male, whether it's a female, whether I know you, whether I don't know you, whether I pray for you, or whether I shake your hand and we have a great conversation. Look, man, I love you, man. You be safe, bro. Because when you don't, my thing, that word love, it's not just to be thrown out there that way, but when you don't get a chance to tell somebody you love them and then they die, you say, I wish I had the opportunity to tell them that. So you tell your people that now. So you can accept it more if something should happen.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
but will that mean you've made peace with it?
Yes, I've made peace with it, but the thing is, I made peace with his death. But it hurts me that he didn't experience life.
Are you sure you
Right.
made peace with it?
Yes, I'm sure I made peace with it. It's just the part that hurt me is that he didn't experience having children. He didn't experience having grandkids. He didn't experience life as I did. You understand what I'm saying? So I made peace with the fact that he's gone. And the way I made peace is that I know where he's at. I know he was a child of God. I know he was at church. I know all this stuff about him. So I know where he's at. But when it's like, I can make peace easier. Like, I have friends that was in the drug game that got killed over the drug game. And I can make peace with that easier because I knew the consequences by it. And I can move on from it. It's not that I'm not thinking about them, but I can move on from them. You know, it's always going to be something that when you go around your old, when you go around your old neighborhood, it triggers emotion, and you start thinking about the people you grew up with, but that got caught up in the game and got killed over the game. You accept that easier because the repercussions from what you was doing added to your demise.
You know what, and this ain't no diss or nothing like this, but for real, almost, I ain't gonna say everybody I know from South Philly, but so many people that I've known from South Philly moved out of South Philly and told me that they would never move back to South Philly because of the pain that they experienced, you know, losing cats and, you know what I mean, shit that happened to them and all of that. And I always thought that, like, damn, it's been more than I can probably name about 10 people who said that shit.
And one thing about South Philly, and a matter of fact, it's not even just South Philly, but one thing about me, I can still live in South Philly because it's not South Philly, it's people.
Yeah. But
I can live in South Philly because I've never been involved with certain things that people was involved with. So when I walk the streets, you know, it's like when if I'm going to South Philly now, it's like I just moved back down there from down south, and you ain't seen me for 20 years. because I don't frequent down there, and I never got involved with everybody got involved with. So at the end of the day, if you've seen so much death and you've seen so much hurt and you've seen all that, it's because you was in that inner circle where you seen it.
No.
I wasn't in the inner circle.
This is what I mean. I'm not trying to say. I mean, I think you already know. I'm not trying to say South Philly is a bad neighborhood or nothing like that.
Oh no.
But there's a certain element. You know what I'm talking about. There's a certain element to living in South Philly because there's a super strong ass family element to growing up in South Philly. It's not like other places. I'm not saying that it's better than other places, but it's different. The family element, it's almost like y'all grew up in the same house and y'all didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
that's the truth.
You know, the way that y'all look at things, like the cats that's from across the tracks, depending on what side of the tracks you on.
Yo, son, stop. You're an honorary South Phillian right now, bro.
No. We're not doing that. But you know how I learned this shit? Because I went to school with so many of them. I had to learn the lingo. I didn't know what the fuck they was talking about. I've been to South Philly plenty of times, but until I start having friends there and going there and actually meeting people, having girlfriends that lived out there, and I was like, yeah, this shit different.
Yeah, you just proved me. You made me feel so. It just shine. It's a sun shining in me right now when you said that, because when other people mention across the tracks and they didn't live down there and develop themselves down there, it takes me there that these people really know South Philly, because people don't really understand that back in the day, Washington Avenue had train tracks in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Cargo trains.
All of these things had to be explained to me. You know what I mean? Remember we was talking a couple of weeks back, and I said the lakes, they need to put the swimming pool down the lakes and get all them chinks out from. And you was like, FDR probably like, nah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether I'm from there or not, I know that. You know what I mean? We can't do that. You know, that would be like calling the Platte Fairmount Park. Like, no. It's the Platte. You know what I mean? It's not Belmont Platte. It's the Platte. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But anyway, what I'm saying is, like, and like, I used to know like little neighborhood shit that was going on. Anthill Mob, LDP. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, because, and this is all. I got all of this in my freshman year of high school. I got like an education. I was like, what the fuck, but what?
But told you get a black or white composition book and start writing this stuff. That's all.
But what I'm saying is because so many, because of that strong family element, when you have been betrayed, or you know what I mean, when you had somebody turn their back on you, or you have lost friends or whatever, regardless of whether you was out in the streets or just playing in the streets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that pain, it's so tight in South Philly. It's still that way.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it seems, like I've spent way more time in North Philly than South Philly, but the acceptance of people getting hurt and killed and whatever in North Philly is way different. Like, it's like they don't take it personally. You know what I'm saying? And South Philly, they took it personally.
It's the norm.
It's not. You know what I mean? To other parts of the city, they think it is, because the media has you thinking that it's the worst part of the city, but they don't take it as personal. It's like it's more like a it is what it is thing. But the people that I knew from South Philly, they was like, yo, man, I can't. My man told me, that was my roommate in college, he said, like, he was like, oh, I got to get out of South Philly. I can't do this no more. I can't do it no more. You know what I'm saying? And this is after we was already out of school. He was like, I got to get out of South Philly. He didn't say he had to get out of Philly. He got to get out of South Philly. Like, and he's not nearly the only one who told me that, or showed me that. You know, even white people.
What you just said up here and said to me, I've never heard it the way you said, you know, about South Philly being so much of a tightly knit family, and everybody knows pretty much everybody somewhat, you know, in our communities. And that,
my dude,
you know,
you can't go to South Philly and you ain't there. And I don't care how you walk. I don't care what you do. They know when you not from around it. You know what I mean? Neighborhoods I've been in, been able to infiltrate, get in and get out undetected. Not there. Not one neighborhood in South Philly. I don't care whether I'm all the way up, you know, like near Snyder, or if I'm all the way down near like Bainbridge. Like, he not from around here. I'm like, what the fuck?
mm-hmm.
They knew. Now that's not to say that, but anyway. So, but you know, when we talk about making peace with something, you know, like I'm getting the education tonight, because I'm thinking like that making peace with something. I already knew that it's something that people, it's like a term that people throw around or whatever, and it can be sort of like a coping mechanism too. But when you really think about it, knowing if you really made peace with something, it may not be as easy as some people might make it seem. You know, like this thing evidently can do more than you may have than you wanted it to do, or that you needed it to do. Like I know for me personally, I see that I have a lot more work to do as far as, you know, really making peace with some things, and I may not be the only one. Because can you make peace with something that isn't peaceful? Can you make peace? Oh, okay. So can you say that you've made peace with something that will not change for the better, and can you remain in that situation? Like,
that's the part right, that's the good question. You know, can you make peace with that situation and still remain in that situation and accept the stuff that's going on?
Right.
You know, so I mean, and that's the gist of that. You know what I'm saying? Like the situation with my daughter I told you about, that I told the live stream about and everything a couple weeks ago. You know, I haven't made peace with that at all, because, you know, I think that when any man stepped in and take responsibility for somebody else's child and takes ownership of that, and then that child turns back around and protect and say what she says to that man, you know, it's hurtful, and you start reminiscing of everything that you've done from the heart, and you start saying, how is it that person don't remember every fucking thing that I've done? You know, either they remember, or they don't want to remember, or they just don't give a fuck. And that's the part, right? So you can't accept that. I can't accept that. When you don't make it your business to call me and say, let's go have lunch so we can have a discussion, because I really want to make sure that we're okay, because I love you, then that's telling you saying fuck me. You know what I mean? Some things you need to apologize for. Some things have to be a sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That right there is not coming from me. I'm not apologizing for something that I didn't create. I'm not going to do that. You know, I've apologized for things that I just wanted to humble myself and apologize. And even if I didn't create that, I'll say, you know what? If this is how you feel, let me apologize, because I don't want that feeling of you thinking that way about me in you. You know, and it's the same thing. Like, my thing is, when your children get older, like my son, my middle son, and I love him to death, you know, he says, well, you know, the parents supposed to call us, supposed to stay in contact with the kids. I said, and what book is that? Do you know? See, I come from a different time. We come from a different time, son. It Your mom will call and check on you. But what do you do almost every day, son? You call your mother every day.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make sure she's okay or see what she needs. Mm-hmm. These kids right now, they think that the parents are supposed to reach out to them. They don't know the rules of engagement in the chain of command in family life. As you get older, the parents as the parents get older, they still younger. So as you get older as an adult, you are to look out for the parents and make sure that you all right, you need anything. And that's the thing that's bothersome to me. So when you don't hear from me, you take it as me saying fuck you, instead of me saying you as a son or as daughters saying, you know what, let me call check up on my dad.
Yo, man.
You know, and I can't accept that shit. I'm not accepting that.
Right. So
I'm not accepting that, because by accepting that and me sitting, and I'm not moving on from that, because there's a chain of command. Just like when you work, you got HR, you got your supervisors. Like in the kitchen, let me say, in my line of business, you got the executive chef, the sous chef, the lead cooks, cook 1, 2, 3, dishwashers. So you follow the chain of command. You don't jump and go straight to HR when you got a problem with your supervisor. You go straight to the supervisor and say, hey, look, can we sit down and have a conversation? And then if that's not working out, then you go to HR. Because HR going to ask you, did you talk to your supervisor about that first?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing there. They're going to say it, and it's the same thing in family. You got the elders, you got your mother, you got your grandparents, you got the great-grandparents if they still here, you got the grandparents, and then you got your parents, then you got your aunts and uncles, then you got your cousins. But at the end of the day, your immediate family is your mother and your father. So when my mom called me every time, yeah, because that's her. My test to you is, why are you not calling me? Because your mother calls you all the time? That's not how life goes.
Hold on a second. Caller with the last number is 1132. I gotta drop you off the line because I got other people that want to call in and the lines are clogged up.
Okay.
All right, can you drop off? Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You know, but I can, I can accept a lot. You know, accepting a lot doesn't mean that you're moving on from it. It means accepting it and putting a boundary within certain situations that doesn't prevent you from harping on it or going back to it in a way that's not substantial to how you or conducive to how you feel, so you want to handle that situation. You understand what I'm saying, man?
Yeah.
Hello?
I do.
Yeah, because it doesn't necessarily say, well, I accepted it, but I'm moving on. No, I'm accepting it. But we just gonna put this, it has to go in my mental Rolodex. I have to keep this in my mind. There's parts of my mind that I have the Rolodex in that I gotta have a mental reminder of. I remember this shit happening. I remember this.
Hold on a second.
You have a call from Mia.
Caller with the last number 7126. Welcome to the Daily Go Getimism Show. Thank you for calling in. What's on your mind tonight? What's good?
Hello. This is a very good and interesting topic. I feel like the call, like Troy on the line, I feel like, I just feel like a lot of things, you can accept something, you can accept a situation that's happened, but not have made peace with it. And I think the accepting thing and the peaceful part of it is two different things. Like, we can see that something's happened, like son, you other people in the chat have lost family members, and that's something like, okay, it just died, that they passed on, it's happened. but have I made peace with it? We've accepted that it's happened. We see it in front of us that it's happened. Doesn't necessarily mean that you've made peace with it. And I think that sitting in it and remembering it and dwelling in it as opposed to learning the lessons from it, if there are lessons to be learned from it, not doing that keeps you from being able to make peace. Certain things you're going to understand, certain things that you're not. And I think even in that, you have to make peace with the fact that humans are flawed. People move how they move. And a lot of things that we may take personal and feel like it's personal at us has nothing to do with us. But that's something within that person. And it has nothing to do with us. We take it personal because of our feelings for that person or our relationship with that person or the situation. But a lot of times when things happen, or we wish that a person moved a certain way or they did things a certain way, but that was them. We just want more because of how we feel about them. We want more for the situation because of our own feelings and our own inner shit we got going on. That we want to wish that upon them, but they are who they are. And I think even in that, you have to make peace with that. Like, they're moving how they want to move. And it ain't got nothing to do with me. And it has nothing to do with me, but we take it personal because of how we feel about those people or a situation.
Well, I agree. The thing is, when it comes to this whole making peace with something, you know, I'm really questioning about whether you can make peace with something that's not peaceful or make peace with something that's ongoing. Like when I wrote in the chat that I think in order for you to make peace with you, well, you normally make peace with something that you're going to leave alone, because if you've made peace with it, you probably have done everything that you could do in order to try to get it to where you could like it, appreciate it, tolerate it, whatever, you know. And when all of those things have broken down, not saying that they failed, but when all of those things have broken down, you probably and you realize, like, this is just going to be the way that it is.
What it is.
So yeah.
I feel like that's contingent on the situation. I'm sorry to cut you off. I think that's contingent on the situation and where a person is mentally. Because someone brought up I believe Stacy brought up her guy having a baby on her, and she stayed. Not necessarily meaning that she agreed with it or made peace. She maybe have accepted it. And then there are plenty of people out there in this world. I know some that have had a spouse or loved one have a child on them. Doesn't mean that they've accepted it. They're still in it, still dealing with it, because for whatever reason it's, you know, in their household, however things go, doesn't mean they made peace with it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they'll ever make peace with it, but they're living with it.
Yeah.
They're dealing with it.
You have a call from
Troy.
Go ahead.
Yo, I thought you had hung up on me.
No. I was talking about 7126. Go ahead, because I had to pick up the phone and interrupt you. Go ahead, you can finish.
Who, me or the other person?
Another person.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
I don't.
Oh, you got it.
I don't know where I got cut off at. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know where I got cut off at. It just got silent. But I don't know what the last thing you heard, but I just made a point that there's plenty of people out there, like the other caller that called in saying that her guy had a child on her, and that I know individuals that have had their spouses have had children on them. I don't think that's something that it's something you may accept, but you never, because you're still in it. And not necessarily accepting, but it's something that you're dealing with, not something that you'll ever get over. But for whatever your situation, your household situation is, you're still in that. Not saying that because I know no woman
that could tolerate that would deal with that would be happy with it. But you have plenty of people that are in those situations that stay in those situations.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean that they've made peace with it. They've accepted, like, this is what my life is right now, so I have to accept this, but I'm not at peace with this at all. I think it can be two different. I think making peace and accepting something can be two different things.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's still confusing, or it still doesn't directly define what making peace with something is. So it could be that making peace with something is an individual thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe what I make or how I make peace with something doesn't have to be what making peace is for you. And you know, and but can we be sure that even individually we have made peace? How would we know?
Right. I feel as though, like, if something, I feel as though we begin to make peace with something or a situation when it no longer carries a lot of the weight that it used to. When we can think on a situation and we're not as heavy, we're not as downtrodden as we were before, when we've done certain work that we needed to do to process it, grieve through it, and move on, learn from it and move on from it. When it doesn't bear the weight that it used to bear, is a way of moving on and moving, making peace with something.
Like, if you don't react to that situation the same way you used to react with it, like sometimes you might have gotten emotional, sometimes you might want to get physical first, then you wanted to get emotional, then all of a sudden it just died down to the point where you accepting it, but you're not forgetting it. You just can't forget. You can't forget that. There's certain things that you categorize.
I just don't think it bears. I don't think it bears weight. I don't think it bears the weight that it used to bear. I don't think it holds you in this. It doesn't hold you in the same space that it used to. And where you can say, yeah, that's where I was, but this is where I am now. That no longer carries the weight that it used to. I'm not bound by that. I'm not bound by that. Doesn't bind me to that, and it doesn't. I'm not bound by that anymore.
Yeah, I think that's probably the closest definition universally of what making peace is, you know. But I'm sure that some people may still disagree and find other ways or other ways to define what making peace with it is for them. But I guess the best way to know that you've made peace with something is when you feel safe. I guess when you feel like you're okay, maybe you finally made peace with it. And that probably individually, I would think that would be enough. Like, well, yeah, I'm good. You know what I mean? Maybe it is unresolved, but I'm still okay. I'm all right with it. You know what I mean? Like, I know that I have to share this world with other things that are not good, that are not nice, that are not friendly, that are not attractive. But I'm all right. I'm all right where I am. I've made peace with the fact that they're going to be there and I'm going to be here too. But at least I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I think that this could probably be as much as of a surface thing as you could make it, and it could also be the deepest thing you've ever heard at the same time. But it's after 4 o'clock. You know,
we know what that means.
You know what I mean? So, you know, there's that, you know, and I've made peace with the fact that it's time, take my ass to bed. So I want to thank y'all. For calling in and calling with the last numbers of 1132. Appreciate y'all. I want y'all to have a good night. And I see y'all on the flip side, which means tomorrow night. So all right, y'all have a good night.
All right, peace out, man. What's love, y'all?
Definitely.
All right.
All right, let's go over the results of the poll. I want to thank all the callers for calling in. Really appreciate y'all. Good stuff, great stuff. Listen, I mean, I learned something tonight. I did. I learned something tonight. This different. Let's go over the poll results. Then we're going to do these birthday shout outs and then get on up out of here. All right. So the poll question was, what does making peace with something mean to you? So the options were, it means that I have accepted it, and 32% have said that they accepted it. This is out of 22 votes. 36% says it means that I have moved on. And 9% says it means that I don't think about it. And 23% says it means that I know that it no longer hurts me. That it no longer hurts me. So I guess you could say that, or I guess my question is, can making peace with something protect you? Because making peace with something is more than just turning your eye, like turning a blind eye to something or closing your eyes to it, like when you might go on a big steep roller coaster, you close your eyes or some shit like that. Maybe there's protection in making peace with something if it no longer hurts you. That may be a good indicator of having made peace with something. All right, y'all, let's do these birthday shout outs. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious April 9th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box, Tiana Noel. Happy birthday to you. And also Nikita Marie, my cuz. Happy birthday to you. And also Arelis Salazar. Happy birthday. And my girl going all the way back to the 1985. My girl, my old classmate Robin Wood and Stephanie Laverne. Happy birthday. And comedian Mario Dion Hodge over there in California. Happy birthday to you. And Kels Slim Goody. Happy birthday. And Akan to Corey, Esther Beatrice, Keisha Woolfolk, Love Done Jasmine, Adamola Fadakemi, Sanada Say, Yaritza Ladia Blaza, Nobuto, Denise Allison, Camille Parrish, Amifis Perez, and last but not least, Monique Gregory. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all, and I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious April 9th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up, but don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, to rock out, rock on and do the damn, rock out, rock on and do the damn thing and do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings and do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. Anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, go hard, go for yours, and remember, yeah, we said that we made peace with it, but we haven't broke bread, still eat with it. I don't really know if it means the end. Yo, is this the end? New edition, friend. And that was going back to 1983. Remember, my girl came from New York, to visit me. Not visit me personally. I was only 13, but she was part of the fam, know what I mean? And everything was good. Yeah, we stood on 10 toes and everything was good till she became a hoe. Had to make peace with that, but was I really in peace? No, I was mad as a flock of geese. You know how geese be acting all mad all the time. Honk, 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 honk. Don't mess with my motherfucking kids and my mom. But you know, you have to accept that things ain't going to be the way when you have to sleep and get slept. Yeah, I cried, wept. Yeah, I had to step out of my zone and I made sure that I had to be left alone. Tones is something that I hear when somebody banged that motherfucking bell phone in my ear and made it clear that we was through. And I was like, yo, I wouldn't do that shit to you, but who? Am I to say that you can't handle your situations, whether it makes me glad or give me frustrations, crustaceans, just like a bug or maybe a crab? Understand what I'm talking about? Still lugs are not the boots that I would ever wear because I was raised on Timberlands. You know, we got it here. Make it clear when I get the butters and I have to speak to a bunch of people. Make sure I don't stutter. Utter the words that make you feel better. Heat you up just like a wool sweater. Maybe cashmere. Maybe get the cash here. You'll come on, sell you some stamps and get you amped. I'm going to get you right. I'm going to treat you right tonight. Everything is going to be all right. The light's shining bright. Don't get tight when I don't do what you want me to do and perform. Act like this ain't a real storm. But the rain is coming down and so is the snow. Gotta run for shelter. Yo, get on the porch, yo. The dough never meant as much as the friendship did. Yeah, we was still kids, learning and growing and showing our immaturity. And make sure that you were sure with me. And everything is going to be all right. We're going to go down to the Spectrum and see Run DMC tonight. For the Fresh Fest, maybe the Def Jam show. You know what I'm talking about. You remember how it go and how it went, all the money that we spent trying to get a little lit. Yo, cheating a little bit. Yeah, you tricked a little something. Yeah, I saw you. I said it was well worth it. Yeah. All right. Anyway, peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night with another Daily Go Get It Business show. So make sure y'all come on through. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming on through, coming by, you know, stopping on through, chatting. Even those of y'all in the background, you know, y'all was there and are here every night consistently. I may not be able to see you, but I know that you're there. You're just like God. So it's either time for you to go to work or go to bed. I'm going with the latter. Yeah, I mean, all the way. Yo, man, y'all have a good night. Don't let nothing get in your way. Make peace with the things that you need to make peace with. Keep the fire brewing with all the other things that, yeah, I mean. Peace, y'all. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. See y'all tomorrow night.